guys, this is a video to briefly review our ages and stages of our 3 to 6 year olds, or what we call in Montessori the first plane of development and the absorbent mind period from 3 to 6, so the primary child. This is my age that I got to work with for over 15 years and that I love. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. It won't take too long, but I just want you to keep this in mind as you're preparing your environment and when you're interacting with your child, so you know what to really expect out of them. Now, although it is 3 to 6, your 2.5-year-old could be planing, what we call that. So they might be exiting the toddler stage and entering into the primary age, and you'll see that. So watch the video on the toddler development and then watch this one, and you'll see maybe characteristics of both. But typically, about 2.5, they start really having more characteristics of the primary child. So this child has more control of their movement. They're pretty coordinated. They're speaking well. People can understand. They have clear sentences. They can control their hand. They're not bumping into things or falling over. They are now interested in refining the movement. They're going through an explosion of vocabulary. Every few days you just notice they're saying all kinds of new words. So they're still in a very sensitive period for language, so they need a lot of practice having conversations. Having people listen to them is very important. Practicing listening, communication, beautiful, good, rich books with a lot of vocabulary. And then they're ready for lessons with oral language, so with objects and things in the house, and giving a lot of vocabulary, and then sounding things out eventually, and then talking about the beginning sounds, and then the sandpaper letters. This child is still highly sensitive to order. They need a lot of physical and emotional order. Things, they need a routine. They need consistency. They need to know that everything has a place and a purpose, and it's always to be found there. That the pink towels are for tables, the white towels are for floors, and this is where they go on the shelf always. They don't do well with things being changed around, because remember, they're still orienting, and this helps them feel safe. The child from about 2.5 to 4 is developing their body still a lot. They're coordinating and connecting their mind and body, so they need a lot of practical life. So from about 2.5 to 4, we're going to focus a lot on practical life. Lots and lots of practical life. That's going to bring concentration, focus, order, calming of the nervous system as it is being connected and their needs are being met through exploration with the senses and exploring texture, water, the elements, and a lot of language. They need a lot of language development and sensorial material, working to refine their senses. Then between around age 4 and 5 is when they're more interested in learning to read and write, in understanding that symbols represent sounds and numbers and quantity, and that's the appropriate time for that. So we don't usually do writing and reading under the age of 4. They don't even have the muscles developed for that at that time. And then our 5-year-olds, they just take off. They're usually reading, they're writing. They might be, some might not. They might not be interested until about 5, and that's okay, or 5.5, like I've mentioned. But that's definitely a time that we're focusing in on that, and we might find need to be more creative in ways to encourage that. But they want to calculate. They're interested in addition and subtraction and geography and learning more about the world, and being contributing members. They want to help set the table, and they do like practical life now, but not just for an individual purpose of developing their own body and mind and muscles, but they want to do it to help the community. So that's just a little bit about the primary child. That's around 2.5 to age 6. I know it's a long range there, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me, but I just wanted to give you a little reminder about this child and their needs whenever you're setting up that classroom, when you're observing them, so you can observe for these needs and these sensitive periods in that sensitive period video, and seeing what it is that they're telling you, what their needs, with their movement, that they're needing at this age, but having a general idea of what they're going through at this stage will help you in preparing your environment.